Okay, we want to write 16 2/3% as a fraction. We want to write 16 2/3% as a fraction. So we're going to take 16 2/3% and divide by 100%, which says that gives us 16 2/3 divided by 100. Now, how do we divide fractions? That actually can be written as 16 2/3 divided by 100. To change a percent to a fraction, we divide by 100%, which gives us 16 2/3 divided by 100. But how can we divide fractions? Well, we've got to make 16 2/3 into an improper fraction. So we multiply 3 times 16 is 48. 48 plus 2 makes 50 over 3 divided by 100, and we put that over 1, which gives us 50 over 3 times the reciprocal of 100, which is 1 over 100. Cancel. 50 divides itself 1 time, divides 100 2 times. So we get 1 times 1 is 1, 3 times 2 is 6. So 16 2/3% is equivalent to the fraction 1/6. Okay, again, to write 16 2/3% as a fraction, we want to take 16 2/3 and divide by 100%. The percents cancel. That leaves us with 16 2/3 divided by 100, but it may feel better to put it in this form. 16 2/3 divided by 100. Change the mixed number to an improper fraction. Divide by 100. Change the division to a multiplication problem by multiplying by the reciprocal, and then reduce to lowest terms. This gives us that 16 2/3% is equivalent to 1/6. 16 2/3 is equivalent to 1/6. Okay, now we want to go back the other way. We want to write the fraction as a percent. We want to write the fraction as a percent. Now remember, to make the decimal percent, remember what we did? We multiplied by 100%. So we're going to do the same thing here. To make a fraction a percent, we're going to multiply by 100%. When we multiply by 100%, then we want to either change the number to decimal form or a mixed number. We want to change it to decimal form or a mixed number. We don't want to leave it as a fraction. It needs to be a decimal that stops, or make it a mixed number percent. And so to write the fraction as a percent, we're going to multiply by 100% and then change the answer to either decimal form or a mixed number. And we want to change 1/4 to a percent. We want to change 1/4 to a percent. So we're going to take 1/4 and multiply by 100%. We want to take 1/4 and multiply by 100%. Now this will actually reduce 1 into 4 into 4 goes 1 time, 4 into 100 goes 25 times. That gives me 25% over 1, which is 25%. So 1/4 is comparable to 25%, but that makes sense. If we're talking about a quarter usually represents 25. Okay. So we multiplied by 100%, changed it to decimal form. Now remember, a decimal form doesn't have to have a decimal with it. It could be understood at the end of the number. And let's look at our second example. We want to change 3 1/2 to a percent. We want to change 3 1/2 to a percent. So we're going to take 3 1/2 and multiply by 100%. Which says in order to multiply, I'm going to have to change to an improper fraction. That becomes 7/2 times 100% over 1. Cancel. 2 goes into 2 one time, into 100 50 times. So we get 7 times 50% is 350%. 1 times 1 is 1, which is 350%. And that's equivalent to 3 1/2. 350% is what we were looking for. So to change a fraction to a percent, we multiply by 100%, reduce, and give our answer in decimal form or a mixed number. Now the next example we're going to do is going to have a mixed number so that you know what to do with that. Remember, if you have any questions while we're going through any of these examples, make sure you stop and ask someone in the math lab for some help. Okay, we want to change 4/9 to a percent. And again, this thing we do is we take the number, the fraction, and multiply by 100%. Nothing cancels and we get 400 over 9%. But I don't want to leave a fraction as an answer. I can have a mixed number or a decimal, but I don't want to leave the answer like this. So I need to change 400 over 9 into a mixed number. So I'm going to have to divide 9 into 400. And don't get a decimal part. So 9 into 40 goes 3 times. Oops, excuse me, 4 times. 4 times 9 is 36. Subtract 6 from 10 is 4. Bring down the next number. 9 into 40 goes 4 times. Gives me 36. Remainder 4. Now remember, we always put the remainder over the divisor. So we get 44 and 4/9%. Okay, to change 4/9 to a percent, we're going to multiply by 100%, just like we always do. The only thing is this one will not reduce so that we have 1 in the denominator. So what we're going to have to do is take 400 over 9 and make it a mixed number. And we do that by dividing. Questions? Okay, let's change 1 over 200 to a percent. Again, to make a percent, we multiply by 100. So we take 1 over 200 times 100%, reduces 100 divides 100 one time, 200 two times. That gives me 1 over 2%. But we don't want to leave this as the answer. We want to change it, so we're going to divide 2 into 1. And we get 0.5%. 1 over 200, multiply it by 100%, reduce gives us 1/2%, which we then want to change to a decimal, which gives us 0.5%.